Have you been struggling with racing thoughts? Those pesky things that just won't go away? Well, let me help. First, you're going to have to find a nice, quiet environment, something where you can eliminate all distractions. Once you have, we'll close our eyes. And I know your mind right now is very loud. There's a lot going on, and you feel like you can't capture one thought at once. It's almost like they're all continuous. But we're going to imagine that a spotlight turns on and it shines on one thought. And once you see that thought, you're going to bring it forward. You're going to magnify it. You're going to make it so big that is the only thought you can think of. When you have that thought, you're not going to judge it. You're not going to question it. You're just going to let it sit in the air at first. Now that you have the thought there, we'll begin to acknowledge it first. And with acknowledging it, it's first realizing where it all began. So we're not going to first push away the thought. Now that we have it in focus, we're not going to figure out, why is it here? Where did it come from? Is this truly my thoughts? Or something that was programmed into me by my environment? By the people I surround myself by? By the actions I take or not take? Let me sit with that for a moment. And when you remove judgment, immediate questions, the root will start to appear from the thought. And you're going to follow that root all the way back to as far as it started. And for some, you'll realize that your root stems directly from childhood. You'll realize that a lot of your thoughts, or at least that specific one you have magnified, does not belong to you, has not belonged to you, and was never meant to stay with you as long as it has. Now that you realized where the root came from, comes the action. Usually, when we have thoughts that do not stop and come back, it is usually because there is something unresolved. Either we were not comforted in the ways that we wanted, we didn't receive a resolution the way that we may have wanted or at all at times. There's multitudes of a reason of why you're hanging on to these words that shouldn't have as much control over you as they do. So without judgment, you're going to give yourself what you need. That could be as simple as a hug. That could be nice, kind words. That could be maybe going out. Maybe you have to give yourself a nice bear hug. Whatever makes you feel better. And once you've taken some time to comfort that part of you that may have never received it, now that that part of you feels seen, heard, loved, protected, and spoken for, we can now start my favorite process, the derooting process. You are now going to visualize, now that you are at the root already, you are going to grab the root and you are going to pull it all the way out. You're going to envision yourself pulling the root out through the ground until there's nothing but a hole. And it may be a little hard, but you're going to visualize pulling it all the way until there's nothing there. Take your time. This is not a race. Once you've pulled out the full root and there's nothing but dirt there, you will now get to plant what you want to be true, what you want going forward. So for example, let's say your thought was, I'm a failure. When you start to dig in there and get down to the root, you realize that in 3rd grade, you were told that you were nothing but a failure by a really impressionable teacher, let's say. And you held on to that because this teacher was so impressionable. Maybe they were the first ones to acknowledge something about you that you may have not shown other people. Like, let's say your secret talent was drawing or something, and you never showed anybody. You showed this teacher, and she's like, yeah, it's not going to go anywhere. And you kept that, right? So now every time you sit down to try and draw, all you can hear her voice. You're a failure. But at this point, it's grown for so long with you that you can't distinguish it against your own voice. So you think it's just you telling yourself you're a failure. But now that you realize it's not you, you comfort yourself. You give yourself that nice warm hug. You tell yourself that you're not a failure. You're more than that. Now is the part where you start to list what you want to be true, what you know to be true. So, if you're not a failure, what are you? I am passionate. I am creative. I am extraordinary. I am spontaneous. I am unstoppable. I am not a failure. I am incredible. We'll end it there. Let's say each I am statement is a seed. Okay? It is a seed that you are planting in your ground. You could do as many as you'd like. Don't crowd the little spot too much. But you can put as many seeds as you feel is right. You will then envision yourself covering your dirt, watering it, and leaving it just as it is. Once you've done this with one thought, you can start to do it with others. But remember that healing is not a race. Be kind to yourself. Be easy on you. Give yourself some grace. A lot of these thoughts that you may be tackling will be from things from the beginning of your life, things that you may have not even thought you were still holding on to. It's okay to still hold on to those things, but it's even more okay to know that you can free yourself. Do it today. Thank you so much for being vulnerable. I'm proud of you. I see you. I love you. Share this with someone you think needs this too. No gatekeeping around here, right?